This is Eric Muathe with Muathe.com. Let's take a look at the Brazilian market, and we can see here the EWZ, the ETF that tracks the Brazilian market, is down about 5%. And so I'm going to compare some of the charts of the EWZ with the Bank Nifty. And my effort here is to try and show you guys, or let me say my task here is just try and show you how markets can be synchronized and why it does make sense to understand what other major markets are doing, because a lot of these things tend to be reflected in other markets. So this is the EWZ. This is 3 years of weekly data. This is the Bank Nifty, 3 years of weekly data. So let's begin with the EWZ. And I'm going to draw a single line. It's the same line we've been drawing over the last couple of weeks, where indication was that as long as it is unable to move above this line, then markets are sideways to lower as far as the EWZ is concerned. So right now we are seeing the lower side of that argument or analysis. And keep in mind, this is where we broke down. We saw a major plunge in the beginning part of the year, February, March time period. And now we see that this is becoming a backtest failure. It is also a failure of the RSI 50 on the weekly, which actually does suggest the probability of testing some of these either recent weekly closing lows from months ago or even intraday lows and potentially even lower lows, again, as long as RSI 50 remains a problem and remains resistance. Now, let's focus on the single line here. So this line has been guidance and continues to be guidance on the EWZ weekly. Now compare this with the Bank Nifty on the weekly. Right now for the week, it is, let's say, unchanged as of Wednesday's close. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a similar line in this fashion. Now we can see how this line also was the break level here. We saw a major drop in the market, of course. And now we are coming, and looks like this is already confirming potential for a double top. Now, if that's the case, if that double top is true and the market holds that double top, then it also suggests that the next meaningful direction for the Bank Nifty is lower. Now, because this resistance is coming below 50, it does suggest probability of testing weekly closing lows and potentially even recording lower lows as long as RSI 50 has not been breached to the upside. So as long as RSI 50 remains resistance, we are trading in a market that is net sideways to down. Now remember, my videos tend to be more educational, so take that for what it is. I'm just trying to show you how markets are related. Now, we can actually see a good example of breaking recent RSI lows. For example, the Bank Nifty, we broke this trend line and we had a substantial drop. Now keep that break in mind. Take a look at the same situation here with the EWZ. We broke this trend line here and we saw a major drop. Now this has some relevance, understanding a break of a RSI lows line, because if we take a look at the daily, we can see the EWZ on the daily now, smaller time frame, looks like it is breaking this trend line. So we need to watch for this, because should we go on to break below 50, if we break below 50, that is gonna confirm a big down day. So breaking that trend line, RSI staying below 50 might suggest the beginning or the continuation of the move down. This in a sense is similar to the Bank Nifty, because on its daily chart as of the close on Wednesday, we can also see that it is coming back, and this is going to be a line that is going to determine trend direction. Of course, those who are bullish would like to see the market holding above this line. and bears would like to see this break. And if it breaks, expect to see a retest of recent lows, either these lows or these lows, and even potentially lower lows if the RSI stays below 50 also on the daily. And from an educational standpoint, let me draw one additional line just to consider, and for our understanding of technical parameters and how things play out. Now, this is a simple single line. Just want you to pay attention to the following areas. We break below, which is off the highs there. We break below it here, which is off the highs right there. Resistance here, off the highs there. Resistance here, off the highs there. Triple top resistance here during this period, and now this has turned into resistance. So of course, the more we understand the RSI, the more it gives us some inkling into what is going on. And actually I can even draw another line, which is something like that. And this line too has its own message to us, which is this is a warning high, unable to hold above this level of the highs there, resistance here of the highs there, and again resistance here of those highs, and now on a daily resistance there. So confirmation that around here where we are seeing this current pullback, this market was always going to struggle around here based on the RSI. So right now things are pointing down. The only way to correct this is the bulls need to clear this line and need to clear this area as far as price is concerned. Again, from an educational standpoint. Eric Muathe with Muathe.com. Love and light, light and love. Namaste.